Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room, everybody. What's going on? I'm your host, Mistress Carrie. We have taken the show on the road. This is episode 231 of Cocktails in the War Room, and we are coming to you live on deployment from Post 435 at the American Legion in Worcester. And I want you to say hi to everybody that is here. Everybody say what's up. They can all see you. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. For anybody that's joining us new here in the War Room, normally this is a show we do on Tuesday nights at 8:30 from a room in my house that is called the War Room, which is where all of my military memorabilia is. And we started this back on March 14th of 2020 to get through the pandemic. Now we get together every Tuesday night to talk about music, to talk about what's going on. But every once in a while, we take the show on the road, and that's why we call it Going on Deployment. So we're at the American Legion with a bunch of veterans from World War II, Korea, post 9/11 veterans that have all joined us here today. And we want to start the show off properly. So we're going to start with the national anthem and a fantastic version by harmonica player Gary Chadwick. So Gary, take it away. Nicely done, Gary. Take one more bow. Way to go. What's up, everybody? Give them another round of applause. That's how you start a show. Tonight on the show, we got a lot going on. We want to thank the American Legion here in Worcester, Post 435, for having us. We also want to thank author Andy Biggio, who is the author of the book, The Rifle, who is here today signing copies of the book with some of the World War II veterans that are featured in the book. And we also got to thank the guys from Regimental Spirits that have joined us today, and they're the ones with the cocktails. So I think that the first person we're going to talk to is the Legion Post Commander, Mr. Bill Moore. What's up, Bill Moore?
How you doing? How you doing?
Hey! How are you?
Very good. Nice to see you.
It's good to see you, too.
Been a while.
You're the post commander here at Post 435.
Correct.
And you are also, is it the director, the founder of Project New Hope? What's the proper term?
I am the founder, CEO, president of Project New Hope.
And you're also a disabled veteran yourself. So first of all, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And the first thing I want to talk about is part of the reason why we're here at the Legion. Talk about the importance of younger veterans getting involved with the Legion and why it's so important now versus as they get older?
Yeah, it's, when my grandfather was in the military, that they fought for a lot of benefits here. A lot of our men and women got injured in the military and stuff. So when they came home, they joined the American Legion, they joined the VFW, they joined the DAV. And then when my dad was old enough, he joined the Navy, the Korean War, and he joined the Vernon Hill American Legion Post 435. And now here I am my dad. I'm 65 years old now, and what we're finding is a lot of our young men and women from, say, post 9/11 on are not joining the American Legion, the DAV, the VFW. And it's very important because we fought for these benefits. We went to Washington and we walked the halls and we said, we need these benefits to take care of our wounded warriors, take care of our spouses and our families. And that's why it's so important that we're hosting this membership drive at the Vernon Hill 435 American Legion.
Because for a lot of the people that don't understand, is that these benefits are constantly defended in Congress,
right,
and new things come up based on the conflict and war that our veterans fought in. So it could be an issue 20 years down the road, and the lobbying power of the VFW, the DAV, the American Legions, right, if that's not there to protect the benefits for these post 9/11 veterans, you're not going to have a voice in Congress maybe in 20 or 30 years when your benefits are in danger of being taken away.
Yeah, it's happening right now here because they're talking about balancing this budget here. So we served our country. They promised us benefits. They'd take care of our health care. They would our education. They'd retrain us. And now we're the first ones on the chopping block. They want to get rid of all our benefits, and we're going to lose our disability benefits and pensions and stuff. So we're under attack right now, and we're only as strong as all the members here in this post here if they join the American Legion. And even if they're not a veteran, or if they are a veteran, they served at least one day, they can join the Vernon Hill American Legion Post or other American Legion posts in the state. The other thing is, if it's a spouse, the spouse can come in here and join the auxiliary. And then the sons of the American Legion, like my son and all my grandchildren, are sons of the American Legion.
So wait, I can join the auxiliary because I'm a spouse of
Absolutely.
See, there you go.
And then of course our Legion riders and all the fine work that they do, and they're giving back to the community and stuff. So everybody, our whole families can be part of joining the American Legion. So that's why I think it's very important.
The other thing I want to talk to you about, because Project New Hope does a lot of amazing events and reunions and a lot of events to help our veterans once they come home. Will you talk about what you're working on now?
Sure. So 13 years ago, when the VA put me at 100% service connected.
I'm going to move this microphone so I can see your face. No, you're good. Go ahead.
So 13 years ago, I should say 15 years ago, the VA put me at 100% service connected. And so about 13 years ago, I started Project New Hope to offer free weekend retreats for veterans and their families. And we focus on traumatic brain injury, military sexual trauma, TBI, women veterans retreats, blind and visually impaired veterans retreats, anything that affects us. That's what we do. And I bring a lot of my prior military veterans. They come in here and they offer the retreats because there's no barrier there because we're fellow veterans. We might talk a lot of smack with one another, but we're all on one team.
You guys don't talk any smack, do you? No.
No. So, and what I always say here with Project New Hope is I talk about wraparound services because you can't just take care of me, the veteran. You got to take care of my spouse and you got to take care of my children. So we also offer free weekend retreats for them as well. We send our children to summer camp. We pay for that. We have a food pantry. I have an office in Westfield and an office in Worcester, and we have the food pantry. We have a baby pantry with diapers and baby food and formula. So it's just my way of giving back. I was too young to retire at 50 and with a master's degree from Assumption University, so I'm putting it to use with the nonprofit, and I'm proud to be the commander here now for the second year, and hopefully we can get a bunch of members here, and I want to thank you for coming on board and getting this message out.
Absolutely, and you had a fantastic reunion for the guys that I was in Afghanistan with. The 182nd Infantry, there's a lot of those guys. We nicknamed them the Blueberry Cobbler Crew. those guys are here. For anybody that has a Cocktails in the War Room t-shirt, you know what I'm talking about. So they're all here as well, and you put those reunions together.
We did.
It's fantastic. So
yeah, we did the deployment reunions because a lot of us, we struggle, and what we found out is when with our fellow brother and sister veterans, we have that camaraderie with one another, and like I would always say, I would talk to one of these veterans here in the hall here. About what I'm struggling with before I would talk to my life partner and my wife, and that's a fact of life.
Yep.
And so that's why it's so important that we have those retreats, and anything we can do for them, we try to do.
Well, we're so grateful for all of the work that you do, and obviously, if you give out the website so people can find you for Project New Hope.
Yeah. So it's projectnewhopema.org. We're on all the social media platforms. We did create a Facebook page here for the Vernon Hill American Legion Post 435. Also, the Riders have ones, the Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion. So tune in. We got a lot of great things going on up here at the Vernon Hill Post. A lot of bike nights going on. We got music and everything else here, and we're very inclusive with our families. The Easter egg hunt and the Christmas parties and all that. So we're offering a lot here at the Post.
Well, that's awesome, guys. Give Bill Moore a round of applause. So if you're just tuning in, we want to say what's up to everybody that's watching. Michelle is here, Christine is here, Jessica, Mark is here, Elsa, what's up, Brett, Scott, Christine. And we got a lot going on in the show. And one of the things, if you watch Cocktails in the War Room, there's cocktails involved. Now, one of the guys that I was overseas with, get over here, Mr. Donato.
Right behind you, my dear. And here's your cocktail.
Oh, hold on. So thank you very much. So normally what we do on the show is every week we give out a cocktail recipe, and I put it up on the screen. This is the drink that you made for me. Guys, cheers to everybody here. To us. So, first of all, there's no coincidence that, first of all, the drink's purple, but also the blueberry reference for anybody that knows the blueberry stories. Thank you very much. So first of all, because you were one of the guys that I was with overseas, and you've been on the show before when we did the anniversary party at the boat, the blueberry cobbler story and the other stories that I've told here in the War Room, these are all true stories. I just want someone to confirm.
Well, plausible deniability right off the bat. I was at another base, so I have no idea what that that blueberry cobbler thing was all about.
Right. Go ahead. Keep telling the story.
So, yes, there was a very special, the Robert Kraft. All I have to say is Robert Kraft, and there it is, right?
That was the Orchids of Asia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carrie, you've actually visited us twice. You visited me in Iraq.
That's right.
For my first tour, and then you visited us again when we were in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
2 different battalions, 181 Infantry, 182.
Yep.
Regimental whiskey was born on a rooftop in Baghdad that first time you came out. I think you were drinking whiskey, but we couldn't.
There is some deniability about how I may or may not have gotten my hands on whiskey in Iraq. I know that people are watching this right now, so I'm just saying that it didn't happen. Whatever he says right now is an absolute fabrication. Continue.
So we're a veteran-owned whiskey company. We're distilled in Kentucky. It's 2 local veterans here in Massachusetts, Major Kyle Moore and myself, Eric Donato. We had an idea to build a brand that represents us, the men and women in uniform. So we have great Kentucky bourbon and Kentucky American whiskey. Every bottle that's sold, we give back to our veteran community because it's just the right thing to do. Hey, I just want to talk to you before any more. If you haven't got any swag from Mistress Carrie, I just want to say get over there because, I call it attention to detail. My wife calls it OCD, potato. I ordered the coasters from her
those
last
slate
week.
Coasters, veteran made, by the way. The coasters over here, veteran made.
There was so much detail that went into the packaging, and it came super fast. If you get a chance, get something. It's a great brand. You're repping a great gal here.
Look,
And,
what do you want for free? You're buttering me up. What do you want for free? What is it that you want?
I just appreciate your friendship. We've known each other for quite a long time, and I'm excited for the next chapter of your life with this podcast and with everything you're doing. And I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Cheers.
Cheers. So let's talk about, cheers, first of all. Yeah. We got to talk about the signature cocktails because whenever you and I do events together, you always do signature cocktails. So this one is the Mistress Carrie, which hold on, I got to get my finger, is right there. I put the recipe up on the screen.
I can tell you real quick. It's our Kentucky bourbon, blueberry puree, a little simple syrup, and a mint and some blueberries and a whole lot of love.
It's delicious.
Yes.
Now, what are some of the other signature cocktails? Just to give people, because the whole point of doing the cocktail recipes on the War Room is to give people ideas to elevate their mixology game.
Well, my second favorite next to the Mistress Carrie is the Nation's First, which is a smoked maple old fashioned. So you switch out the simple syrup with maple syrup, a little bitters, a couple dashes of bitters, and then you smoke it with cherry wood and our Kentucky bourbon. And man, oh man, one of the best old fashions that I've ever had. Smooth.
Very good.
The final drink that we have here tonight is the Vernon Hill. And so Vernon Hill has its own drink. It is it's our American whiskey, some lemon juice, some simple syrup, mint, and an lemon slice, and a little soda water on top. Mwah.
And you've been making all of these cocktails with the Mistress Carrie 7-in-1 bartender tool today, which I appreciate the product placement as well.
That thing is so awesome, so easy to use. If you haven't seen it, it's got everything on it. It is the multi-tool for cocktails. So
you guys had multi-tools when you were deployed. I wanted a multi-tool for the bar.
Well, you returned it to me, so there we go.
All right, so that's the signature cocktail. Yes. Tell everybody where they can find Regimental Whiskey and the Regimental Spirits Company.
So we've been around for about 2.5, 3 years now. We started in one state, actually started in Connecticut. We're now in 17 states here in Massachusetts, probably about 350 locations. So if you jump on our website, regimentalspirits.com, go to where to find us, and put in your zip code, and voila. The closest regimental will be at your fingertips.
Jessica wants to know where in Kentucky.
So we're distilled in Owensboro, Kentucky, and we're bottled in Bardstown with Bardstown Bourbon Company.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being part of the event. Thank you, obviously, for your service. And it was definitely a life-altering experience meeting you guys overseas. And
dye your hair.
Yeah. Everybody here is leaving with purple hair, just so that everybody's clear.
You just got to pour one of these over your head.
Yeah, exactly. So, cheers to you. Cheers to your fantastic idea while you were deployed, and look at what it's turned into. Who would have thought, right? 12 years later, that we'd be sitting here
we are.
Drinking your whiskey.
Drinking good whiskey.
So,
right,
cheers. Cheers to you guys.
Be well, guys.
All right, so we got a lot going on the show. I know that there are a couple of other guests that are supposed to be coming on. So I think we are waiting on the State Vice Commander, Scott Connor, or is Whitberg coming? Oh, they're both here. Get over here. Get over here and sit down. Oh, boy. Here we go. We got some trouble now. All right. Yep, here we go. So for anybody that has, all right, hold on. I want to move, Woodberg, I want to move your camera because we're getting him twice and it looks weird. So we got to budge. Savello, do me a favor, budge it, that little camera right there. Just budge it that way.
You've never been
more. Keep going. Keep going. Good. Okay. So for anybody that has watched all 231 episodes of Cocktails in the War Room, we got some OGs. You guys have heard me talk about my trip to Afghanistan in 2011, being embedded with the 182nd Infantry of the Mass Army National Guard. This is the command staff. So because you're both retired now, how should I refer to you as? Because it's a little weird getting to know you in the civilian world.
So I usually go by Greg or some fucking guy. So.
If you were in your prior job, your title would have been
Command Sergeant Major.
Gregory Widberg.
Gregory Widberg.
And your former title before you grew a beard and became a dirty civilian.
You like that, Gregory?
Yeah, you got to get up on the mic, though. Tell everybody who you are.
Tom Stewart.
The business work.
Oh, Lieutenant Colonel Tom Stewart.
Yeah, and so you were the Sergeant Major and the commander of the 182nd Infantry in Afghanistan.
Correct.
Yep.
The only way I was able to get you guys on the show, yeah, give them a round of applause, guys.
Who said that?
Hey, Savello, do me a favor. Tip that camera up a little bit because Widberg's head's getting cut off, and I want to get his whole head in there.
Oh, good luck.
Just tip it.
See the size of this thing?
Rock it back like that. Like that. No. It's fine where it is, but rock it. Pull the top back towards. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. There you go. That's perfect. Or a little more. I want to get his whole head in there. Okay, there we go. So it took me until you guys were both retired to get you guys on the show to be able to actually talk frankly. Mm-hmm. So back in 2011, when you heard I was coming, was the initial reaction, oh shit, or what was the initial reaction?
We were excited to have you, Carrie. We looked forward to having you there. You are something from home that we desperately needed at that point. And when you showed up, it just brought a little bit of Boston back to us in Kabul, Afghanistan.
Agreed.
I'll take that.
Agreed.
Can you guys talk a little bit about what the mission of the guys, because I think what happens is that a lot of us here at home, especially people that are not attached to the military at all, they see our guys get deployed. They saw them on the news. They heard about, all of these guys from Massachusetts are going overseas. Talk a little bit about what the mission was of the guys from the Mass Army National Guard back in 2011 and 2012, the guys that you were over there with.
So we were decentralized. We were broken up into 13 different areas, provincial reconstruction teams. So what they basically provided security for NGOs, non-governmental organizations and things like that were going out, USAID, some of those things, route protection, things of that nature, a whole multitude of things. Being decentralized caused a lot of problems, but on the other hand, it also provided a lot of opportunity for young sergeants, lieutenants, leaders who really stepped into a new role and just really found the weight of the world on their shoulders, and they handled it unbelievably. So their jobs were incredible. We got out as much as we could to as many PRTs as we could, and just checking in because they were still our guys. They were always going to be our guys. They weren't in the same area as us, but we wanted to make sure that they weren't forgotten about and that we would do anything in our power to help them. So
one of the things that we really tried to do while I was there was also, first of all, be able to let you guys know that people from home were thinking of you. Second of all, to be able to let everybody back home know what you guys were doing, but also to be able to bring a little lightheartedness and a little bit of the fun.
Absolutely.
So one of the things we got to do was watch the Stanley Cup final and watch the Bruins win the Stanley Cup in Afghanistan.
That's right.
You guys were the ones that made the decision to lighten up on the uniform so all the guys could wear their Bruins gear that night, right?
Yeah.
Uniformity was the Sergeant Major's issue. He's the one that authorized any alterations in the uniform to include Bruins jerseys. I just listened to my Sergeant Major.
Right, okay. And
as good officers should, right?
And one of the other things that we were able to find, it's one of the most surreal experiences I've ever had. We found a way to play a little wiffle ball game one day. Do you guys remember the wiffle ball game?
Oh, yeah.
If anybody's ever played wiffle ball in a combat zone surrounded by Connex boxes, it was in 125-degree heat?
That didn't matter, Carrie.
Ish.
Do we remember who won that game, by the way? Does anybody remember?
I think I did.
It's always the enlisted side. They always win everything. How upsetting is it that now everybody's in on the blueberry cobbler secret?
On the what?
The blueberry cobbler secret.
You know about that?
Don't answer that, sir.
I don't know that.
See
I
that?
don't know what you're talking
What are you
about.
talking about? This world is not meant for me anymore, man.
Guys, a round of applause for the command staff not knowing anything about the blueberry cobbler story. That is what we call plausible deniability. Before I let you guys go, you're both retired now.
Yes.
Can you guys talk about how many years you were in service and what your final jobs were? Because combined, you guys have got to be at 70 years of service between the two of you?
Well, Whitberg is almost 70 years old,
Oh!
so that alone is very telling. But I would say if you look at my beard and my scruff compared to Whitberg's, he's still keeping the standard, that man.
Yeah, right? He looks pretty squared away.
You should have seen me a few months ago.
Is it a thing? Because it seems to be with all the guys I know, they retire and they don't shave for how long?
Forever.
So you don't really think about it anymore.
Right.
I just this morning I did. I just did.
Because you knew
But
we were all going to be here.
Yeah, so I didn't shave for months. I mean, I had a 5-6 inch beard going, and it was during the 100-degree spell that we had during the summer last year. My wife and I were laying down patio out in the back, and I got concrete in it from soaring, and then I went to scratch, and my whole beard was concrete because of the dust, so I ended up shaving it off, and so the novelty kind of wore off at that point. But yeah, I mean, it's freedom at that point. It's just kind of sticking it to the man a little, you know?
I don't know anything about that. Can you guys talk about when you joined the military? Because, when that was and what your first jobs were?
So I guess I'll just jump in. So I joined in late '85 and delayed my entry until 1986. I went basic training at Fort Benning, Airborne School, Fort Benning. Then I was assigned to the 82nd Airborne Division, Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 504th Parachute Infantry Regiment at Fort Bragg. Spent 4 years up there. My wife joined me after our first year there. And I always tell her and everyone else, I enlisted, but she got drafted. So she's run the gamut with me from day one. Jumped into Panama in late '89. She was about 8.5 months pregnant with our first child. So I came home, she had our child. I got out of the active duty, went right into the National Guard. And, here we are 37 years later.
That's how many years you served total? 37 years?
37 years.
Guys, round of applause. 37 years. Unbelievable. All right, what about you, Commander Stewart?
So I joined in 1988. I was 18 years old, and I actually passed an inspection at Fort Benning, Georgia. It was a shaving inspection to make sure we were keeping up on our facial growth, and I'd never shaved a day in my life. And I passed the inspection.
Well, congratulations.
And, I have to say that, so for me it was 32 years.
Wow.
And, when I look back, I just thank God that I had that opportunity to serve my country and to do what I did. And I feel like the Army gave a lot to me that I can never repay. My tours of duty, my tours of service really shaped and formed who I am today. I can never thank the Army more for that. When you're 18 years old and you haven't shaven a day in your life and the Army tells you, hey man, we're going to inspect you for shaving, and you never even thought of it before, and it's like the next day you're buying a razor, it's just something that really sits on you and all the things that go along with it, with the things they put you through. So it's been a lot of fun along the way. I've been retired since 2019. I do miss it. And but I get to keep in touch with my friends like Greg Woodberg here, and feel pretty good about that.
And that's what's great about American Legion posts, VFWs, that this younger generation really needs to get on board with, because this is the place where, if you're not a storyteller, you don't have to be a storyteller, but you can come here, you can connect with not just folks from your generation who may have similar experiences, but folks obviously, I mean, the proof's in the pudding here. We've got folks from
This guy that fought in
Vietnam,
Normandy
Korea,
here.
Normandy,
Yeah.
right? World War II. And you can get perspective from those guys.
Yeah.
And you might learn a thing or two, or something about yourself that you didn't know. So that's what makes these places just so welcoming, so wonderful, and you're really back to a band of brothers and sisters when you walk through the door again. So.
Yeah, and I'd have to say Gregory and I, we deployed with, at the time, First Sergeant Jason Savello. He's a Sergeant Major now. And he's the one that invited us here along with Bill Moore. And what they're putting together here at this American Legion is something that, all veterans around here, whether they're a veteran or they served in the military, they need to take notice and they need to come down and check this place out. This is where we all connect, and those connections are important. They're more than words can say.
I have noticed when it comes with you guys, I mean, obviously from the civilian side for me, is seeing you guys get together, it's like you saw each other yesterday. It doesn't matter. There were guys here that haven't seen each other in a decade, and it was like they saw each other yesterday. And it's really important for the entire veterans community to really keep in touch, because for the civilians, we don't understand what you guys have gone through. And the only way to really have people around you understand is to be with people that served in uniform.
Right. Like-minded thinkers and folks with similar experiences, and just to share that with each other and make sure that, you're not forgotten and somebody's always got your back. And you don't get that anywhere
Sergeant
else.
Major Whitberg and I, we spent every single day of a deployment together. Don't
Just
make
about.
Any faces.
Just about.
You're not going to make any faces.
I'm not
And
gonna make
neither
any
one of you
faces in
killed
front of
the
you.
other. I'm pretty impressed.
Oh, we came close.
No, we did not.
But I also want to give a shout out to everybody that's here that is a civilian, because it's really important for civilians to also be there to support our veterans as well. The percentage of the population that's veteran is very small compared to the civilian populace. So it's really important for all of us, the civilians, to make sure that our veterans are taken care of and that we're advocating on their behalf as well. And there's a lot of civilians that showed up here today just to make sure that you guys knew that you were being supported and that you're appreciated. So I want to make sure that all those civilians get a shout out too, because they really just are here because they want to, make sure you guys know you're loved.
Absolutely.
And appreciate
and that's
it.
very, very much appreciated from us as well. Thank you.
Carrie.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if it's been said yet, but Carrie here has been in our corner since day one. I mean, she came over to Afghanistan for us, so she talks about civilians knowing what we go through. But Carrie went on patrols with us. Like she walked the streets of Kabul, and she's pretty humble, so she's not going to tell you all about that. But
I
she sat
will
our
if you
back.
get me drunk. You guys know.
She sat our back for a long time, and
Yep.
that's why we keep coming back. So, Carrie, for you, a big thank you.
Oh, thank
to
you. I
as
love
well.
you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Before I let you guys go, this has been a joke since I met these guys in Afghanistan. Would you guys listen to Whitberg read the phone book? Does this guy not have the best set of pipes? I told him when he retired from the Army that he should be a DJ, because he has got a voice that is, I'm telling you, I could get you a gig. I know some people.
I'd do that.
Just in case you ever decided to work again after retirement.
I could do that.
Guys, listen to the pipes. I'm just saying.
You talking to me?
I'm just saying. Well, did you guys try the Mistress Carrie cocktail yet? It's pretty spectacular.
I did.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's good. Oh.
Fantastic. Oh, there is.
Of course I got a cocktail, dude. It's my show. Huh? Oh, is she here? She's right over there. Oh, okay. All right, awesome. All right, guys, a round of applause for Stuart and
Appreciate
Whitberg.
it, guys. Thanks, Carrie.
Hook them up at the bar.
Thanks, Carrie. Right there, kid. Good to see you.
Bye, guys.
I got it. He's up. Hang on.
All right, hold on. I got to turn those cameras off. Otherwise, you guys are going to look at their butts, and I'm not comfortable with that. All right, so the next person we want to bring over here, Jen Societis. Where are you? Jen! Get over here. Get in the hot seat.
Hey, just 1 minute.
Yeah, no, it's fine. All right, Jen. Hold on. Hold on. I turned on the wrong camera. Oh, God. There you are. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. So I want to introduce everybody to Jen. Jen, you are helping to bring the American Legion into the 21st century with all the social media stuff?
I'm trying. We just started.
Yeah,
We just started, yeah.
so one of the reasons why we wanted to get everybody together and take the War Room on deployment was to be able to showcase the fact that a lot of people think that the Legions, the VFWs, that they're kind of frozen in the past, and they're not. Right. And you guys are now on social media. You're keeping our veterans groups together online. So talk to me a little bit about what your job is here at the Legion.
Sure. I actually don't work here at the Legion, but I own a freelance company, and we do writing services and social media marketing. And Bill Moore with Project New Hope is one of my clients. And he called me up one day. He goes, hey, I've got this event coming up, and we need some help publicizing it. And I said, sure, send me over what you got. And here we are. So we're going to keep going forward with that. Working with veterans it's important, and I love it because I'm a spouse myself.
So am I. So cheers.
Cheers.
To the
I don't have
spouses.
my cocktail, but
Yeah.
we actually met about 20 years ago.
Oh my God.
In
okay.
the studio.
Was I
in
sober?
Yeah, it was. You were at work.
Oh, okay. I was at work. So that doesn't mean I was sober. Did
Does
you
that
not
narrow
see
it
what I
down?
did for a living?
You were donating some money that you had raised to the National Guard Family Program. And back then I was still just a spouse volunteer, and we came in and you presented the check, and it was awesome because my husband had just come back from his second deployment. So it was a lot of fun. So we've been doing this together, even though we haven't really known each other.
Yeah, for a long
over
time.
20 years.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like I said, like it's really important for civilian spouses, veterans, everybody to do what they can to kind of contribute.
Yes.
Because like what you're talking about, you are a freelancer, you own your own agency, but you're helping the VFW and doing it in your own way, which is really important. And it's a great lesson because people can do whatever it is that their level of expertise is. Whatever it is that you bring to the table, there is a way to support our veteran community with whatever it is that you do.
Exactly. Everybody can contribute a little piece of the puzzle to keeping the American Legions up and running and being successful and able to provide those services and that advocacy for the veterans, because they're still going to need it long after. I mean, we're sitting here in the same room with World War II veterans.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
You know, it brings everything down to just the tiniest level where, you know, just the littlest bit that you can do to help matters.
Right.
It makes a difference.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. Guys,
you.
round of
This is a
applause
nice
for Jen. I think everybody's getting drunk here, and that's Regimental Spirits problem. That's their fault. We are supposed to have Scott Connor. Scott Connor! Come on, Scott. Get over here. Sit.
Everybody's got to have one.
Yeah. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Hold on, I want to get you. Come a little. I think. Nope, go that way. Yeah, keep going because we're. It's for the cameras. It's for the cameras. There you go. All right.
How are we doing there?
We're good. Nice to have you on the show.
Thank you. My name's Scott Connor. I'm one of the department vice commanders from Massachusetts.
Yep.
With the American Legion, and with the American Legion being, it is the largest veterans organization in the world, and we do an awful lot of work to create, protect, and put forth new benefit programs for the veterans. And it's very important for membership to have, because they're voices. And who makes the rules? The politicians.
Right.
And what are they listening to? The voices. So we need to bring the voices to the table.
Right.
We have over 1.5 million veteran members, and it's down a bit from World War II at our high, but would and certainly great events like this today help bring in some of the younger Persian Gulf, war on terrorism, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, and gets them interconnecting and see what goes on at the post, and talking with the other members, and so on. So this is really a great thing that Vernon Hill is doing today for the community, and I really enjoy coming to these. And
Can you talk a little bit about your service?
sure, I did 21 years of active duty Coast Guard. I started the end of '75. Retired in 1996. I worked out of Boston. I flew rescue in Alaska.
I was going to ask you because everybody watches the crab show,
Oh,
Deadliest
yeah.
Catch, and every once in a while the Coast Guard goes in and saves the day.
Yeah.
You got to be crazy to fly those rescue missions in the Bering Sea. That's insane.
Yeah, it's not as bad when you're going out, as long as you can stay away from the water. Remember, some of that water's coming up 20 feet to meet you. But, you have to go out because that's a very dangerous job.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, people get hurt or ice gets on the deck and they slip. And so.
But those fishermen appreciate it when you guys are there to save the
they
day, for
certainly,
sure.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All the way back. And they're very, very appreciative in their families and everything else. And
My nephew Zach is active duty Coast Guard right now, so it's in the family.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you so much for rolling out the red carpet for us today. Thank you for letting us take over Post 435. Thanks for coming on the show.
Well, great. Well, thank you.
Guys, a round of applause. The
Commander
State
Bill and
Vice
all of
Commander
Great.
hanging out with us here in the virtual war room. And for anybody that's joining us late, we are doing a bonus episode on deployment of Cocktails in the War Room from the American Legion Post 435, the Vernon Hill Post in Worcester. And we got a few more people that are supposed to be coming on the show. Where's Savello? Who's coming on the show now? Not you. Put your pants on, Keith. Put your pants on. Oh, yeah. Come on over, guys. All right. So we got two in the seats and one standing on the mic over there.
You can stand.
Hold on. Let me turn all your cameras on. Look at that. Oh, hold on. Hold on a second.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
Do I got all of you guys? Hold on. So many cameras. There we are. Hi, guys. All right, you can move that. Just pull the mic down so that it hits you. You're not going to break it. You're good. All right, tell everybody what your name is. And
I'm Mary Ellen McConville. I'm the Vernon Hill Legion Auxiliary President.
So Bill Moore was talking about the auxiliary is the spouses, of which I am one. So for the spouses out there, talk about what the auxiliary is.
Basically,
Go ahead.
you don't just have to be a spouse. You can be a daughter, a granddaughter, or your husband, a spouse. And we do great things at this post. We help fund events for the veterans, and it's a great auxiliary. It's a great place.
Amen. They're great.
All right, so go ahead, introduce yourself, tell everybody what you do here at the Legion.
I'm Rich Smalley, the director of the Legion Riders here at the Post. Our organization is actually a mix of Legion, Sons, Auxiliary, that work together to help all the members of the Post and our veterans. The key is our veterans, helping our veterans and the community. We do a lot for the community as well, because many of them are in need, as we know. But the veterans is our key to work together as one unified group. If you get a bike and a ride, and you have to become a member of the Legion or the Sons or the Auxiliary, and we'll put you together with us if you want to ride. You have a bike, we actually have a ride coming up.
Give a plug for the ride. No, go ahead.
We have a ride coming up next week, and we call it the Blessing of the Bikes. We've been doing it for 3 years now. Each year we choose one community to give to and one veterans organization to give to. This year we're giving to the Montechusett Veterans Outreach Center, and we're also giving to St. Bernard's Church youth programs. Whatever we make that day, we split between the two of them. Both organizations, both in need. It's a struggle for these organizations to survive. It's very important. The ride kicks off Saturday at 11. Well, the blessing is at 11. Registration begins at 9:30. And like I said, we raise a lot of money for this. We also have another major event that comes up in August, It's a cancer ride, Lego ride for kids with cancer. It's an amazing ride.
It's a huge event.
It can be a very emotional ride because we go right UMass. Last year was the first year they were able to do it. The bikes, the kids were able to come downstairs. Those that could come downstairs.
Right.
The others are all up in the windows.
All waving to the bikers
Waving to
as
the
they went
bikes.
by.
And to see these kids, it's I
Breaks
tell you
your
what.
heart.
It breaks your heart, but it also shows you how tough they are, too.
That are as tough can be.
That's right.
I've seen their eyes water.
Yeah.
Their eyes water because it's just a tremendous thing we do for these kids, and it gives them an opportunity to get some fresh air, and they love the bikes. The bikes, they're cheering.
Come on,
away,
what
they're
kid
making
doesn't love
signs,
some loud
they're making
motorcycles, for
signs
sure?
and everything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a great thing we do as a unified group.
Right.
We all work together as a group here, but the riders, like I said, we're kind of that niche that does the little extra, that puts everybody kind of together, working together as one group. Sherry's, yeah. We do, yeah, Sherry's house.
And go ahead.
All right, my name's Tom McConville. I'm the finance officer for the Sons of the American Legion here at the 435. Not to go over things again, but we all kind of work together. Sometimes there's a few bumps in the road, but we try and work together as a family. We raise a lot of money. We do different raffles, goes to the veterans. We also actually support a lot of youth organizations. You know, we sponsor Little League teams, stuff like that. Just a lot of different things that go on. But this place in the last 2 years has really taken off. And if you want to join a post that's really active and helping veterans instead of just a barroom, this is the place to be. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Well, there you go, guys. Give them all a round of applause. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Thank you for opening up the post to all of us from the War Room, and we appreciate everything.
Thank you, Mistress Carrie.
So much.
Thank you very much.
All right, I think we got one more person that I'm trying to get over here. Is Andrew Biggio still in the house? Where is he? Biggs! Get over here! So if you don't know who Andrew Biggio is, he was on an episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast. He is a Marine Corps veteran, he is a police officer, and he is also a best-selling author who wrote the book The Rifle, and he's got another book on the way, and I'm trying to get him over here so we can talk about the new book. Where is he? Always got me waiting, Biggs. Get over here. Sit right here. Guys, a round of applause for Andrew Biggio. What's going on, Mr. Biggio? How are you?
Hello again. Hello.
What are you live streaming? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram.
Oh, you are? Hi.
Yeah.
So congratulations. When you came on the Mistress Carrie podcast, the book had just come out.
Yes.
How have you handled the success of The Rifle? Because as someone that has known you a long time, that loves you, I was a little overwhelmed at how unbelievably successful this book has become. It's unreal.
Yeah, I was a solid D student in school, so how I became a #1 bestseller and sold over 40,000 copies of my book has been awesome. And more importantly, what was important to me was, did I do a good job for the fellow veterans I served with? Their opinions meant the most to me. And I've had guys I served in Iraq and Afghanistan with email me saying they cried reading the book and how much they could relate to the World War II veteran story. But then all of a sudden, all these World War II veterans started coming out of the woodwork, emailing me, writing me that they read my book and how realistic the book was and how spot on I was with some of the stories. Like these World War II guys that never even signed the rifle, messaging me on social media, writing me letters. So it spawned Rifle Volume 2, which is out in September. So yeah.
Guys, you hear that? Give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
So now you're going to be, it's not a one-off. It's not a fluke. You're doing it twice.
Yes. So Rifle Volume 2 is going to be more about some of the veterans. So Rifle Volume 1 was a lot of veterans that came home, became the greatest generation, lived up to that reputation. And then Volume 2 is going to be a lot about guys who came home and struggled a little bit after World War II. Some of them got incarcerated. Some of them became alcoholics. Some of them had bad domestic disputes with their wives or their children because they were involved in substance abuse. Others kind of lied about their service, but ultimately they all ended up having successful lives well into their 90s. And it's more about the hard road that they took as opposed to a jolly book like the first one.
It sounds like a book of redemption
Yep.
for a lot of these guys. The success of the rifle, what was the most surreal experience for you? Because you had to do a lot of interviews, you had to travel a lot with the book. What was the most surreal experience you had?
The most surreal experience was sitting in front of them and finding out they had a lot of them never returned to the battlefields they fought on in France and in Italy and places that are on our bucket list they never wanted to go back to. So how could places like Paris and Rome and stuff be on our bucket list, but they dreaded even hearing those names or wanting to go back there? So bringing these men back 78 years later and having them cry at their buddies' gravestones buried in Holland or buried in Belgium, or physically pointing out a house that they took shelter in during the Battle of the Bulge, and us just knocking on the door and seeing if the Belgian family will let us in. And
Did they?
Yeah. They don't even speak English, but they got who we were and why we were there. Didn't even speak English, used Google Translate, and they said, yes, I remember my grandparents telling us the Americans were here 78 years ago. That was my grandfather. They brought us in the house, served us beer. Like, you just can't write it. You can't make that up, and that is so surreal. It is so surreal, yeah.
It's unbelievable. And you came on the podcast and you told the whole story of your personal journey with your namesake.
Yes.
And what spawned the rifle in the beginning as a project. So I encourage anybody that doesn't know the history of the original book to go back and listen to that episode of the podcast, because you and I sat down for hours. You came out to MCHQ
Yes.
and told the whole story. And to see where the story's gone from that idea, that personal journey with your own family, to now a second book, taking veterans back to Europe. It's unbelievable what you've done.
I thank God every day. This is a lot of kids grow up. They want to be astronauts or NBA players or NFL players. I've always wanted, that was my dream, as I always wanted to hang out with World War II veterans. I always wanted to wonder what was the best way I could honor them since I was a kid. I don't know why, but it was, and I'm living my dream. I lived my dream, so
That's
I'm
pretty awesome. Guys,
Thank you.
Give Biggs a round of applause. Have you tasted the Mistress Carrie yet?
I had the other one, the orange one, but I'll taste
I think that's the Vernon Hill, right?
Yeah. So, don't worry. There's plenty of room in my belly for more alcohol
I just want to let you know I'm delicious.
Yeah.
So if you haven't tried it yet, it's very good.
Yeah. How's Shooter doing?
He's good.
Good.
Yeah, he's good. Everything is good. Like,
cool.
They the War Room family refers to him as Mr. Mistress or Mr. C. Mr. C. Mr. C is a strong enough man to be able to handle it.
Yeah, he always makes sure he texts me whenever he's in Boston, and I always, drop the ball for some reason or the other. So,
No, he's good. Everything is good. Well, thank you for coming out and being part of this event.
I love
It's
you.
awesome.
Thank you for always. You've had my back. You've had my back since the very, very beginning. Before there was a book, before the vet run was huge, the popular. Like, you've always had my back. You have helped seriously amplify veterans and their voices in this country. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Give a plug to the Boston Wounded Vet Run.
Yep. So May 21st, it is the last Boston's Wounded Vet Run after 13 years. And, and we're honoring the 5 Marines that were severely wounded at the Kabul airport. And it's time to just put it on pause for a while. So, and it's good news. The guys aren't coming home wounded anymore. The wars are wrapped up, for the most part. And so it's time to put it on hold. We're not going to dismember the organization, but we're going to just pause it for a little bit. So,
yeah, and decide what to do next, because as the post 9/11 veterans age, which is something we've all been talking about, there's going to be new challenges.
Yes. Yep.
And there's going to be new things that we're going to need to get involved with, which is one of the reasons why we're encouraging people to get involved with the Legions, the VFWs, the DAVs, because this veterans community needs to stay together as the post 9/11 veterans age, the way that our
Correct.
World War II and Korean veterans have.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
And to make sure that that infrastructure is in place for the next generation of veterans as well.
That's it. That's all we have is each other. So.
That's right. All right, guys, give a round of applause,
Thank
Andy
you.
Biggio.
Thank you.
You can get the rifle now. Love you too, honey. You can get the rifle now, and you can also get the rifle too, which is coming up this fall. All right, if you're new to the War Room, we do a few things here in the War Room every episode, which is normally on Tuesdays. One of the things we do is mail call, and the people in the War Room send a lot of crazy stuff. And when we were all locked down, which is when the War Room started, the mail was really the only way that people could get together. And so some of the people that are here in the War Room have brought me some things rather than mail them. So hold on. So first of all, for anybody that watches the War Room, you guys know I collect rubber duckies. So I got a new member of my rubber ducky collection, the frozen ducky. Guys, did you see the frozen ducky? Look at the frozen ducky. It's amazing. So that's number one. I was also given this because there's always food involved. So guys, I don't know where you are. Thank you. They know that I have very little tolerance for hot food, and they send me hot things because they know it's going to torture me. So I appreciate this. There will be an update on the next episode. All right, speaking of food, the other thing that I got, I'm not supposed to open this until Mother's Day, right? Okay, so this is from Wednesday on Mother's Day, so I will not open it now. However,
Love the hair.
thank you. I can share that a fresh batch of Grandma's anise cookies were sent. If you've been watching the episodes of Cocktails in the War Room, you know that these are grandma-made anise toast, and they are unbelievable. So there is a stash of anise cookies that got brought here to the American Legion. So we got to put those off to the side. We'll open. All right. So for anybody that got a Mistress Carrie backstage pass, if you have a backstage pass, you were supposed to go up and tell Annie Ange, who's here today in person, running. Give a round of applause for Annie Ange. Annie Ange is running the merch booth, and so there's a little special bonus gift if you have a Mistress Carrie backstage pass. But one of the things, I want to show these. So I got that, the Combat Veterans Association coin, which I will proudly add to my coin collection. I got these pens as a prototype, and I need to show them off because they're kind of spectacular. So it's a pen for each day of the week. They're going to be out of order, but I'm going to show them anyway. So first of all, they have the Mistress Carrie logo on them, which I love. But it's a different pen for every day of the week, including, which is the normal day of the War Room, Throat Punch Tuesday. Then there's Motherfucking Monday. And Wish a Bitch Would Wednesday. There is also Suck a Dick Sunday. There's Thunder Cunt Thursday. There's Fuck Off It's Friday. And Shit Show Saturday for you guys. These are unbelievable. So thank you so much for my amazing pen collection, which I will cherish so much. They may or may not be available in bulk in the store at mistresscarrie.com because they're so amazing. We might have to make them. So then, all right, I got this that I want to open as well. I was told to open it before the show started, and I didn't. So, gotta open the card here. By the way, can I just say as I'm opening this is the first event that we have had since the world completely opened up. We did have a couple live War Room events while things were still masks, social distancing, all of that. To see members of the War Room, original OG members of the War Room, that only knew each other virtually, to meet for the first time has been so awesome. Will you guys, hold on, I want to turn your cameras on. So for the OG War Room guys that are all here, guys, give yourselves a round of applause. Watching you guys all meet each other, and Keith has pants on. Wait, hold on, Keith, hold on. No. Go back and do that because we couldn't see you earlier. Show the pants. Hold on, back up. Keith has pants on, everybody. For anybody that's, guys, a round of applause for the fact that Keith is wearing pants. No. We're keeping Keith's pants on. For anybody that's been watching the War Room for a while, it's been so cool for people that have been talking to each other virtually. To be able to meet each other in person is pretty spectacular. All right. Melissa, Tim, Opal, and Pearl sent this. They said, Carrie and Wednesday, we're so sorry for the loss of Zero. We hope you find comfort in this gift. And Michelle, by the way, you guys know that the book from the War Room that I was supposed to, oh wait, where's Melissa? Where is she? Melissa, I want to publicly apologize to you. I was supposed to bring your War Room book, and you saw it in the studio ready for you, and I forgot it. I promise you I'm going to get you that book, and there's some extra special surprises that are with it. I suck so bad. I'm so sorry. I told everybody that I was going to bring the fucking book, and I didn't. That's right, drink F-bomb. We have some War Room rules for anybody that's new. One of the things is that you have to drink a social if there's a mistake on the show, which I'm convinced there's about 50 on the show so far. But you're welcome. But also, whenever I swear, there's also a social as well. And hold on, I want to take this out of the protective plastic. So, if you don't know what we're talking about, so my dog Wednesday, there's usually a pug cam. Her best friend Zero passed recently. And you guys made her a framed picture for Wednesday and Zero. Guys, this is so sweet. It says Wednesday and Zero, best friends forever until the day we meet again on the Rainbow Bridge. So sweet. So thank you so much. Every once in a while, Zero would pop into the War Room and make a little cameo appearance, and you guys were all so amazing to her and always sending her little gifts and little treats and stuff. And so the way you've looked out for Wednesday recently, because Zero sadly passed of old age, is pretty awesome. So I want to thank everybody, Michelle, Tim, all of you guys. Thank you so much. This is really, really sweet. So thank you. I know, I'm sorry I didn't bring Wednesday.
I told you.
Do you guys not see all of the stuff we had to bring? There was no more room in the car for that little shit. I know, I'm sorry. All right, couple things before we go. Want to remind you guys about this week's episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast that came out on Wednesday, episode 152. Features Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's a great episode. You can listen to the Mistress Carrie podcast pretty much everywhere. There are a ton of places. Here's all the outlets on the screen if you haven't listened to it yet. And the podcast holding strong at 149 countries, which is still unbelievable that so many people are listening to the podcast. I also want to remind you guys, new in the online store, if there's any left, these slate coasters that you can actually see here at the merch booth that are veteran made We like to make sure we're showcasing veteran-made things. Our T-shirts are made in the U.S., printed in New England. Also, the patches, the beanies are veteran-made as well, and you can go to mistresscarrie.com to check out all of that. And also, there's a lot of people here with Mistress Carrie Backstage Passes. So if you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, there's a little extra gift for you. Go and see Annie Ange at the merch booth. And if you have a Backstage Pass, there's always an exclusive live stream every month. You can submit podcast interview questions. You get travel blog updates, early access to tickets. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And so there's all of that. Hold on. Wait, what? Oh, Annie Ange, guys, say hi. I was wondering what you guys were waving at. And we normally have to do this virtually. If you are celebrating your birthday today on May 6th, you celebrate your birthday with Chris Shiflett from the Foo Fighters and also Bob Seger. So cheers. And in person, happy unbirthday, Keith. Happy unbirthday. It's not your birthday again. Cheers to you. Yours is tomorrow? Happy birthday. All right, guys. We have taken the show on deployment a few times. Today has been awesome. It has been so great to see all of you guys. I do want to say to everybody that is OG War Room, please stay where you are, because as soon as we finish the show, we're going to take a big group photo. So please don't go anywhere, because I want to make sure we do that. So if you guys can all get here together, the OG War Room, because I want you guys in the camera right here. We're going to turn your crowd cam on. Everybody get in. Keep going in. Keep going, keep going. So everybody that couldn't be here with you guys today, guys, come on. Guys, wave to everybody that couldn't be here. OG War Room here. Guys, to 231 episodes. Oh, here. Blueberry Cobbler. All right, thank you guys. Oh, wait, is Annie Ange coming? Get in there, Annie Ange. All right, in her derby hat. Cheers to you guys, the OG War Room, for 231 amazing episodes. Thank you so much. Thanks to the American Legion. Thanks to Regimental Spirit Company. Thanks to everybody that's come out and supported this event today. We are taking this next Tuesday off from the show to recover from today. So we will be back a week from Tuesday for episode 232 of Cocktails in the War Room. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Elsa says happy unbirthday, Keith. Donna says happy birthday and happy unbirthday. Donna also says what's up to Annie Ange. Jessica says 149 countries. I am so impressed. Christine saying hello. Jessica saying happy unbirthday, Keith. Guys, thank you so much from On Deployment War Room here at the American Legion, Vernon Hill, for episode 231 of Cocktails in the War Room, and we will see you guys later. Guys, say goodnight. Good night, guys.